Okay, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Mrs. Nixon. I help run the ambassador program along with Mrs. Wycliffe. And whether you be an ambassador or a peer tutor, we need your help. Part of the reason we have the ambassador program is to help mentor new students, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders who come to Yorktown. Frequently, they find Yorktown is much more difficult than their past school, and we want to help them be successful. And so we're going to start a program that we're going to go through some study skills training with them. Okay, now first and foremost, we need you guys to buy into this. If you blow this off with students, they're going to blow it off with you. Okay, you need to buy in and you need to take this seriously. Are we going to perfect things for every student? Probably not. But if we can help one or two kids learn to be more successful, then this is going to be worth it. So you need to take this seriously and have a good attitude about trying to help students. All of you got into either the ambassador program or peer tutoring to help. So here's your chance. Okay, you're going to get a copy of this worksheet. You're going to put the student's name up top, ambassador/peer tutor, the date you're starting this. You guys should be filling out this form. Students have a lot of anxiety related to school, and we want this to be as easy for them as possible. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have the student document or tell you what types of things that they have, what classes they've learned the best in. This might include traits of the teacher or how the class was structured. So if they say none, well, try to give them examples. Was it a hands-on class? Was it an art class? Was it a class you got to work in groups in? Was it a lecture format? What worked best for them? You're trying to help them identify ways for them to be successful. Okay, the next thing that you're going to do is try to get them to identify strategies they're currently using for when they study for a test. I do not study is not acceptable. Surely sometime in the last 10 or 12 years they have attempted to study for a test. Try to get an idea of what they've done, okay? What's worked, what hasn't worked for them. Okay, so that's kind of the pre-interview. You're going to ask them a couple of questions about how they've been successful and what they've studied from. The next thing you're going to do is have the student log into My Big Campus. They need to go to their groups, and they need to go to their ambassador class. Okay, the ambassador class is our homeroom where we have ambassadors and new students. You need to go to resources, and all this is on that form. You need to open up, this is a learning bundle right here. It says Yorktown High School Ambassadors, Habits of Mind and Study Skills. So go ahead and open that up, and you want to open up this first document right here. It says Habits of Minds for Students, and it's going to tell you that right on that sheet. Okay, you're going to open up the Habits of Mind document, and it's going to look like this. Okay, there's a nice little quote up top, and Habits of Mind is just a mindset we need you in to try to be successful. A lot of you have learned are things that you have learned through the years with taking difficult classes, but what we want to have them do. Okay, the next thing once you open up this document is they're going to take a learning style quiz. And the learning style quiz, we've got the link. That's why if you open this on the computer, you can hit Control and click, and it will take you right to the link. And this learning style quiz, it's really quick. I took it, it takes maybe 5 or 6 minutes. It's going to ask you a bunch of questions about what you like to do the best. Getting lost in a good book, trying to solve mysteries, journal, blah, 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 blah. There's 4 pages. You know, I want you to sit there with them and make sure they take it seriously. Okay, again, the whole buy-in on this, you can't force people to do things, but we can force people to try to learn how to be good students, and that's what we're going to try to do. So they're going to take the learning style. Once it's done, it's going to give them, where is it, an overview. Okay, and this was what my particular one looked like. Okay, now this particular survey gives you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's based on work by a guy named Gardner about multiple intelligences. And it lists out several different learning styles. What you need to document on the paper is the top 2 or 3, because the reality is most of us don't learn one way all the time, but you want to document maybe the top 2 or 3 on this paper. So for me, it would have been, you know, intrapersonal, interpersonal. I happen to also know I'm a pretty strong visual spatial learner. That's my strength. So then you want to click on the Learn More about each learning style. and read through what that means. Okay, and some of them may read through the other ones and go, wow, I really like that. Most people fall into one of three big categories. One is a kinesthetic learner. Movement is fun. Okay, they like to move, they like to have dances, they like to make up games, they have to move around all the time. You guys know people like this. Okay, a musical or an auditory learner is usually someone who listens to music, they like to make songs, they make up a lot of acronyms, but typically they'll fall into those. Now, again, you guys can read these, but interpersonal, you have to talk through it. Okay, so for this person, it gives them tips. It says work on talk out problems, be an active learner through mentoring, tutoring, or apprenticeship. They need to talk through things. And intrapersonal, and this is a big one for me, I have to study alone. I have to really think through the material. I rewrite things over and over and over again, and I know that's how I learn. And visual spatial, I'm a big visual person. I like a lot of color. I highlight different things. I have to visualize and organize things into concept maps. And if you've been in my class, you've experienced that. Okay, so like I said, you're going to identify the top 2 or 3 learning styles. You're then going to review the learning styles with them, just like I did, and have the student identify ways they think they can use to study for a test or quiz. Now, they may not know. Some of them may go, I have no idea. I don't even know where to start. Okay, so again, this is where you can jump in and say, you know what? I learn best by doing this. My friend learns best by doing this. Okay, this is where they need your guidance. And if you are really stuck on this, come ask us. But we can't be all places at all times. And if you look at that list, just try to give them some options. Okay, it's not perfect, but we're trying to give them some options. Now, another thing that you'll find in that learning bundle. Whoops, where'd it go? There we go. There's another document right here. This website has learning memory principles. It's also just another website that just gives them suggestions, how you can organize things, how you can relate it to certain things. Recitation, saying things out loud in your own words really helps. So you just want to try to give them some concrete strategies to use. Okay. Now at this point, the other thing that we want you to work on and go through with them, even though we're going to do it in homeroom, is go through the final exam prep schedule and start talking about final exams. We'll have a copy of it attached to this so that you won't have to go find it. I also want you to go through the rest of the Habits of Mind handout. Okay, so go through the rest of the things on this sheet. It just gives a lot of good suggestions about how you can be successful. Get to know your teachers. You guys all know the beginning of the semester is the most stressful because you're trying to figure out, how's this person going to test, how they're going to do, okay? You also need to have methods of preparation. You guys can read, but suggestions: organize your notes, use an agenda or some type of organization system, know how to take a test, learn from your mistakes. So you want to read through the suggestions on this paper, and again, give your own experiences. This is what works for me, okay? And try to things. Now, a couple other, in addition to the Habits of Mind handout, there are also several other documents in the Learning Bundle. If you look down on the Learning Bundle, there's all kinds of documents down here that honestly I got from one of my friends who teaches chemistry. You have the Indiana Learn More Indiana website that's got awesome websites, but there's all of these also active reading, note-taking tips, improving your concentration, how to improve your studying, time management, test anxiety. This may be a big one for people. Test anxiety is a big deal for certain people, and this document just helps identify. Some people don't even realize it's a real thing, so they feel very nervous about saying they get nervous about taking a test. And this document just kind of goes through some tips and strategies. I'll come back to that once it's up there. Okay, last but not least, you need to have them set a goal. What is the student's goal for a minimum grade they want to earn on their final exams? Oh, here's the test anxiety piece. It just goes through what is test anxiety, what are the causes, what are some things they can help reduce test anxiety. So honestly, when you get to this point in the document, this is where we need you to talk to the students and figure out what you think they need the most. Okay, do they just need to practice some study skills? Do they need to seriously look at test anxiety? What are some things that we can talk to them about? Also emphasize meeting with teachers before school. Peer tutoring in the den is huge options to help them with their classes. You guys may not understand this, but we have a lot of support available at Yorktown High School, a lot. And that's a good thing compared to other places, and we need to get them to take advantage. Okay, so then they're going to set a goal for their final exams. Bare minimum should be passing. I know it's 10% of your grade. Some of you may not think that's a big giant deal, but it is. But we need to have a minimum grade that we want to try to have them achieve in every single one of their exams, and we need to start thinking about it now. The other things that will happen is we're going to be following up with the students again at least sometime before finals. Hopefully we can get these first meetings done before Thanksgiving. If not, we'll meet the week after Thanksgiving again before finals and let them check up on it. So you will have a follow-up meeting. You're going to just document how are things going for the student, anything else that you need from Mrs. Wycliffe and myself. Again, this is meeting number 2 here. Okay, so you're only going to go up to the final exam goal in the first meeting, then you're going to have a second meeting. When you get done with this form, we need you, if you're in the den, to give it back to Mrs. Eckstein or myself or Mrs. Wycliffe. We'll make a copy and give it to the student. We'll keep the original so that you can complete it and keep it for our records. But we've got a chance to really help some students. We need your